Welcome to the World Trumpet TV, a world media ministry called to blow the trumpet, to call the unsaved, unreached millions back to God. In a world so broken, so hurting, and so lost, World Trumpet TV is taking the gospel of the kingdom to the nations, redigging the wells of revival and awakenings in North America, South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia, sounding the trumpet for the children of God to arise for a mighty global move of God. World Trumpet TV is at the center of bringing you God events as they happen worldwide, global evangelization, and international humanitarian social transformation missions in suffering nations. Together with our friends and partners, we believe this new decade will experience the greatest salvation the world has ever seen. Through our 24/7 inspiration programming via cable networks, satellite, smart TV, smart apps, social media, iPads and iPhones, etc., reaching the entire planet. Join the Trumpet TV family in bringing the lost, hurting millions back to God.
Tired of feeling drained, stressed, or stuck in a cycle of fatigue? It's time to unlock the ultimate secret to feeling stronger, pain-free, and energized like never before. Introducing O2 Boost, the incredible power of oxygen in a bottle. Specially formulated to enhance your body's natural oxygen levels, O2 Boost works down to the cellular level, fueling your body from the inside out. Whether you're a dedicated athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or simply looking to feel healthier, O2 Boost is your go-to for that natural energy surge. Feel the difference in every breath. O2 Boost increases oxygen in your body, helping you power through workouts, recover faster, and stay focused all day long. No stimulants, no crash, just pure oxygen-fueled vitality. Ready to experience the power of oxygen? Grab your bottle of O2 Boost today and feel stronger, healthier, and more energized with every breath. Visit O2Boost66.com now to order. It's time to fuel your cells, empower your body, and take your health to the next level. O2 Boost, empower your every breath.
Welcome to World Trumpet Television again, right here on City Talk. Each week, we're so blessed to be able to bring amazing guests that, have got impact, influence, and they have a mandate to share with us. And I know thousands and hundreds of you have been able to be blessed every time you tune in and are able to watch these wonderful broadcasts that we have. It's our vision and heart that every time God sends us a great guest, like the one we have about to introduce to you, that your lives will never be the same again. And I tell you, call somebody right now to tune in right here on City Talk, and your life will never be the same again. The impact leader we have today has got a vast, journey and story and background that he's going to share with us, and so amazing things that we can talk about. But this 1 hour is going to be amazing. Get a pen and just be ready for this amazing time that we have. Again, I want to welcome you, our viewers, to City Talk right here on World Trumpet Television. And I would love to take this wonderful opportunity to welcome a great, wonderful friend of ours here at World Trumpet TV that I've gotten to know quite a little bit, but just his heart and vision, for what God has placed in his hands that we're going to know is amazing. General Brooks Bash, how are you doing? We're so blessed to welcome you to this wonderful time. We've been looking forward to this moment for quite some time, but thank you for giving us the pleasure to be with you today.
Well, thank you, Mike. I'm honored that you've invited me on your show. I've known you now for a couple of years.
Yes.
I'm very pleased to be here today to share our story and the product associated with, bringing this to the kingdom.
Yes. What's amazing, General Brooks, is that, your background and your journey, is vast, and we're going to talk about it. But a great impact leader like you, who's able, after all this long journey of service and leadership positions that you've been, privileged to have, you're able to come here into the studio and be able to share, this wonderful product that God has laid in your hands to thousands and thousands of viewers, not only just here, in America, but, around the world. I would love for you to share that journey. You've been, in government. Your background goes back in government and goes back into, military. It's been a place of leadership, and so I'm in awe to even be able to sit here with you and just be able to hear, this journey, and our viewers would be honored to hear that. But for me first, before we go further, just want to thank you for the service that you've given to this country that you love and everybody, loves. Like to share that.
Well, thank you, Mike. And my journey has been pretty amazing,
Yes.
and I think service is the key word.
Yeah.
When I was 17 years old, I went to the Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
And went into the Air Force and went in the Air Force. And when you're in the military, people say that you're in the service.
Yeah.
And so then I served 34 years
Yeah.
as a pilot and other higher ranking positions, flying around the world, all 7 continents, and seeing the developing countries and the challenges around the world personally,
Yeah.
firsthand,
Yeah.
from India to Africa to Asia.
Yeah.
It was an amazing career. I was very blessed. I spent 3 years in the White House, and I'll chat about that in a minute. But,
Yeah.
but when I retired, I missed being in service, because I truly felt that
Yeah.
I was making a difference for the world and for the people of the United States and the things that I did.
Yeah.
And around 2019, I came upon this company, and I thought to myself that this is an amazing product that we need to bring to the world.
Yeah.
And so in God's way, He led me on this journey,
Yeah.
which I'm still on.
Yeah.
And now I'm in service again.
Yeah.
Because the service I'm doing now
Yeah.
is to be able to help people with our product.
Yeah.
And that is, so I've continued, and it's really kind of paying back. I've been blessed tremendously, and now this is my gift to try to bring something that I believe is really important.
Yes. Brother Brooks, when you are that traveled, you've been on 7 continents, your worldview is different because you experience different people groups around the world. I would like our viewers to have that worldview that has given you such an appreciation to the kind of world we're in. And the reason why I bring that question is we live in a world right now that's on, if it's not by God's grace, to be brought to peace that we talk about or we hear about or we desire to. But you've traveled through this journey since, and you've seen events that have unfolded. And I'd like for us to dive a little bit in that from your perspective and the understanding of the world as we even come into why this is important, the product we have, the life that you've journeyed in, people, places, and time and everything. I think that would be wonderful.
Well, I think that I'd be pleased to share that with you, and maybe a series of anecdotes may best do that. When I was young, in my 20s and flying into Pakistan, I can remember walking down the streets of Islamabad and seeing a Pakistani gentleman who was, on the roads. You have the lines on the edge of the roads, in the middle of the road. He had a paint bucket, and he was painting the line on the side of the road. And that was his whole life, that he did that continuously. He had pride in the work he did, but it was an experience to see the plight of the people in some of these places. Similarly, in New Delhi, India, seeing the poverty right next to the skyscrapers, and to see the lack of the middle class, and the disease and the injuries that were not being treated. And it's not just in that nation, but in almost all nations. I spent a year in Iraq and Baghdad. Very interesting time, because when I first got there was a lot of violence And when we'd fly over the city on the helicopters, the soccer fields were empty.
Yeah.
There was no schools going on. People were inside.
Yeah.
During the time I was there was a transition. By the time I left, there were kids playing soccer in the fields.
Yes.
We would visit the schools. We'd give them school supplies and candy to see the burst of opportunity and hopefulness in just a 6 to 7 month period was really amazing to see. And so it doesn't take much to make a difference in an individual or a community's life. And I've dedicated myself during my career to do that and to continue to do that myself.
Yes. You know, I love that you're able to share that experience, because as an impact leader, you know, the experiences of traveling to other countries and people groups and life and everything, and really the mission, while you sit there and you're able to share those, you know, wonderful experiences. And right now you're back in this country, wonderful country, the United States, and you've shared that, you know, you at one point, you know, you've been and served under almost several administrations. We'd like our viewers to also have that experience of getting to know that, because, you know, it's amazing that you've been able to see different levels of leadership in your journey and how you view your leadership, and so can you share about that too?
Absolutely. So I spent almost 3 years in the White House in the National Security Council. My position was the Deputy Executive Secretary, which is the second statutory position. My job was to, as you can see on the pictures here, I'd do phone calls for the President every morning in the Oval Office. I'd set up the calls. I would travel with him when he traveled around the United States, and I'd review all the correspondence.
And that was President George Bush?
So first of all, it was a year under President Clinton.
Yeah.
And under his administration, and then, as you can see in the one picture there, and that's on Air Force One. Actually, we're airborne. I think the President's talking to President Putin on that particular call. So we're airborne on Air Force One. And then when President Bush came into the office, I remained because my position was apolitical, being in the military. I was in the White House on 9/11, and I was the senior military representative in the White House Situation Room. And the picture you see with George Bush there is one of the many, over 200 phone calls I set up and did for him. And just prior to going to the White House, the picture of me in uniform in front of Air Force One is, I was the commander of the pilots that actually flew the President and other senior officials around the nation. But having watched the transition between two presidents, a Democratic and a Republican administration, was, you know, in their hearts, they're both trying to do the right thing for the country. They just have a different way of approaching it. Having lived through 9/11, and there's a story I can tell you about my American flag if you're interested.
Yes, I would love to hear it.
But to see how much that changed the nation and how much it changed President Bush at the time. He'd only been the president for 7 or 8 months.
The entire disaster,
right?
A national disaster, changing the presidency and all that.
And you saw that for the next 7 years of his presidency. He was affected by that. But it's appropriate. We're in election season right now, and you see all the politicians and a lot of senior officials wear the American flag on the lapel. And so I can tell you why that is, and this is a firsthand experience. Prior to 9/11, no one did this. No one, when the airlines hit the Twin Towers and the Pentagon. And I was right next to Condoleezza Rice when we saw the first reports come in. The President came back to the White House early the next morning on a Wednesday. Then on Thursday, he was doing phone calls with world leaders after that, and I was in the Oval Office for all those phone calls. On Thursday morning, the Chief of Staff, Andrew Card, came in with a handful of American flags. And he started handing them out to the staff. And the President put one on, and we all put one on. Like that. And then it's funny, the next day the President came in and he didn't have his American flag on because his staff back in the residence didn't know to put it on there. So I gave him mine, and I got another one.
Oh, amazing.
But from that day forward, politicians have always worn the American flag. So it was that moment in time in history that changed that habit until this very day.
Yes. Did that create an atmosphere of patriotism and what we had gone through around that time? Is that?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of national pride.
Yes.
That, you know, someone at that point had attacked the United States, and everybody was pulling together to defend ourselves. It was a moment in history where there was no politics.
Yes.
It was all Americans.
It was Americans.
You know, and it was a pretty neat time.
Yes.
And that lasted. I mean, it's faded over time now, but
yeah, because I was going to ask you, do we still sense that that's there, the patriotic love for nation? Do we still feel that today?
I think that a lot of the nation does.
Yes.
I think there may be a portion of the nation that doesn't feel it as intensely as others.
Yeah.
I think you have to go through a time of trial to understand how important the absence of freedoms are.
Right.
And there's a portion of our population that really hasn't experienced those trials.
Yes.
And so I think that's true for any nation in the world.
Yeah.
But so that we've changed since then, just because of the new generations that have come.
Yes.
It's just when we were growing up, my father served in World War II.
Yeah.
And the patriotism of that generation was incredible because they all personally sacrificed and felt the sacrifice, and that changes your worldview.
Yes. I'd like to ask you, just on that note, you know, as you've been through these, serving these administrations, what was the most threatening phone call you received before the president, like before you passed it on to the president, that like, this one, I prayed a little bit? Just.
Wow, you know, there were a lot of phone calls, and some really important ones. You know, whenever he talked to President Putin, it was always important.
Yeah.
Prior to when we went into Afghanistan after 9/11, he made a series of phone calls on a Sunday morning in the Oval Office to all the world leaders at that time to inform them.
Right.
Those were all very short phone calls, but very important phone calls.
Yes.
And I set all those up. There's a whole another story behind how all that came about, but those were all pretty key.
Yeah.
He would make phone calls, both of them, before an important UN vote.
Yeah.
You know, to rally support or non-support for an initiative that would be there. So, you know, almost every phone call the president makes is critical to a portion. And mine is just in national security, so I wasn't involved in domestic politics.
Right.
But so there was one country, I won't use the country's name, but President Bush called them and said, "Hey, I'd like your support on this UN resolution." And the world leaders said, "You know, Mr. President, I don't necessarily agree with your position, but I'll consider it."
Yeah.
That particular nation voted in support of what President Bush had asked them to do.
Yes.
And he called him back to thank him.
Right.
And he said, "Mr. President," he goes, "the only reason that I supported you was you're the first president to call us in 20 years, and you asked for our help.
Yes.
And I gave it to you."
Amazing. Amazing. And the reason why I did ask that, because when you're the one that receives them, the filter in that is that it prepares you. You know, it's like you're the buffer zone, so to say. And as a leader, that's a very great quality of being able to be in that unique position. You know, and I love that, because being around you the last 2-3 years, I've been able to work in your office and how, you know, you've been able to lead this company and everything that God has placed in your disposal. You know, I think that's one of the qualities, even people that are watching us. How do you're in the midst of a world that's almost about to explode, but then there's a piece that gets into that. It's a phone call, it's this, and all that. And so I want us to jump into, as all of these opportunities, great ideas have been happening, you have an amazing product. You know, I've been excited, I've used this product, you know, and I would love for you, where did this journey of this amazing product begin to boost?
Well, the journey began almost 2 decades ago when the technology was created,
Yeah.
which is an oxygen powder, if you will.
Yeah.
And then there was a number of years of research that was done to make sure it was safe and,
Right.
and non-toxic, and it was efficacious, that it actually worked.
Yeah.
And I came to this about 5 years ago now,
Yeah.
and I was introduced to it, and I immediately said, if this is real, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
And the technology, which I'll explain in a second, but is a kingdom technology. Only
Yeah.
God could bring this, I believe, because it has helped thousands of people already.
Right.
And the potential for this is, as I mentioned before, is to help the world.
Yes.
The technology is, in a sense, it's a solid form of oxygen.
Yes.
So everybody says, well, how is that possible?
Right.
And the reason that's possible is that at the molecular level, it's a clathrate or lattice structure
Yeah.
that traps pure oxygen molecules inside of it, diatomic oxygen.
Yes.
And so you can ingest it orally as a solid,
Yeah.
but it actually has oxygen inside of
Yes.
it. And the body will then assimilate it into the bloodstream, and your body can use it just
Yeah.
as it uses oxygen from your lungs.
Yes.
And so the groundbreaking aspect of that we can't lose is that you now have a method of putting oxygen in a body
Yeah.
orally through your digestive system, or down the road intravenously,
Yes.
that does not need the lungs,
Yes.
which is when people have lung issues, and we all lived through COVID, and when the lungs are damaged,
Yeah.
or they're not able to use oxygen like they need to, this is a way to supplement
Yes.
oxygen.
Yes.
COPD,
Yeah.
asthma, any kind of lung disease,
Right.
or even if you're at altitude, and we can talk about that as well. So if you're up skiing
Yes.
in the mountains, or climbing the mountains, or doing whatever,
Yes.
you're now getting additional oxygen that's beyond what your lung capacity would normally give you.
Yes.
So for healthy people and sports-minded people, we can talk about all that.
Yeah.
But for people that have disease and have a challenge just getting out of bed, we found that it helps them as well. So
Yeah.
I would say that our research over the last 20 years, or last 10 years for sure, we've done clinical studies, we've done a lot of safety studies.
Yeah.
Our product is, as a dietary supplement, it's not FDA approved because they don't approve any dietary supplements.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the facilities that we created in are FDA approved.
Yes.
There's good manufacturing procedures, certifications that are associated
That are
with
in
it, so
place.
that people know that it's safe
Yes.
for use.
Yes.
So that's in the simplest way, that's the technology. Now, the other question we get is, well, how can that possibly work? What is it doing to your body
Right.
to make it better? Well, if your body lives on oxygen, we can live on oxygen without oxygen for maybe 10 minutes or less, right?
Yeah.
So it's the most important thing we have, more important than water and nutrition.
Yes.
And that goes all the way to the cellular level. As we learned during COVID, what we have is silent hypoxia,
Yeah.
which means you're breathing, but yet your body is not getting enough oxygen.
Yeah.
So there's parts of your body that are hypoxic, as we call it, without oxygen or low on oxygen.
Right.
Inflammation causes that because it restricts the blood flow. If you have a concussion, you're getting swelling in the brain, which reduces blood flow
Right.
to your brain cells. People that have diabetes and poor circulation, this product allows them to increase the oxygen
Yes.
that's getting to them.
Yeah.
At the cellular level, you have a need for oxygen for every cell.
Yeah.
And if a cell doesn't get oxygen, it dies.
It does.
What we found in our studies, with human studies, is that this increases the mitochondria health, which is subcellular mitochondria, which creates ATP,
Yeah.
which is adenosine triphosphate.
Yeah.
Adenosine triphosphate is the energy of your body. Without ATP, you feel lethargic, you don't have as much energy as you need, and it's the energy of each cell that's the energy of the body.
Yeah.
And we found in our studies that it actually increases the health of the cells, the mitochondria, which produces more ATP.
Yes. You know, it's amazing that as you share about it, because I remember, 3 years ago or more, the entire planet was gasping for breathing, air to breathe. Why? Because the invisible, I call it the invisible enemy, entered into our space, and, left and right, it was the pandemic of everybody. And the number one issue that people had was their lungs were going out, breathing. And what got me really excited is because you shared, this product around that time and talked about oxygen. And that's what people were needing to get better life. And that's what got me very excited about, how, this kingdom product is even available here today that people can use, because a lot of times people go to hospitals and they feel they're better, and the first thing they do is to check where their oxygen levels, they're low and all that. And the first thing they do is what? Kind of elevate their oxygen levels, energy is back and stress is starting to go and all that. But having this in a capsule, that you put in your body, I have used it myself several times, you've given it to me, and I felt the energy right away. I even checked right away where my levels were before and after. And I find it amazing that we have this, that, our viewers and many other people can be able to utilize it, So the question I have, General Brooks, is what are the people groups that specifically, is it everybody, or I know you've listed a few, but what are the people groups that can be able to utilize this type of product?
Well, it is everybody.
Yes.
We've had youth take it. We've had elderly take it. So let's start with the elderly.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of success with elderly, because as you get older, your body isn't as efficient as it used to be, just because of age, but also disease and injuries and that sort of stuff. We've had folks, and I've got some testimonials that I can share with you.
Please, yes.
So the elderly is a group of folks that have found a lot of success with this product.
Yes.
We start to see the people that are still active like we are in our middle ages, that want to continue sports, biking, hiking, swimming, or whatever it is. They're finding that they can enjoy them more because they're not out of breath much. But more importantly, they recover from their activities quicker.
Right.
So you don't have as many aches and pains the next day, and you can maybe go out and hike again the next day versus taking a day off, or bike, or whatever it is, the activity, golf, that you choose to do. For the athletes, so the young folks, and this is outside any disease, but we've had Olympians that have used this, and NCAA athletes. We now have, with our product here, which is the O2 Boost for Sport. This has now been certified by Inform Sport. So Inform Sport is a certification company that tests for 260 banned substances. They make sure that you have all the safety, the GMP and the FDA regulations in the packaging of the product. To make sure that, and then every batch is tested. So when we put out a new batch, we send them in, and they retest the new batch to make sure that nothing was added. So it's safe for use and for athletes as well. And then the final cohort, I think, would be anybody with some sort of disease. Because your body is the best repairman of your body, right? And so if you're healthy, you're fighting off colds and infections and whatever it is. But once you start to get run down and bedridden and otherwise, it's harder for your body to fight off disease. This allows your body to be stronger, to have more energy to fight the disease itself. We don't have any evidence yet that this is actually attacking diseases, although we think it might. But it's actually making your body stronger at the molecular level to fight the disease on its own.
I believe, God created our bodies, to heal themselves. And when you share that becomes of great interest, that when somebody takes it, it re-empowers the cells, and the cells are able to push heavy duty immunity into the body to fight off disease. Do you have, I know you shared about the testimonies of, events for some of the people, clients, customers that have used that you can share with us?
I do, and I'd like to actually read them if I could, just because these are quotes, and the majority, we've sold tens of thousands of doses, and over 3 years, we've had no adverse effects reported.
Yes.
So there's no adverse effects, which is really remarkable when you think about it.
Yes.
And so here's just some examples of one. Recovery. I summited Mount Whitney, which is over 14,000 feet. I had fresh legs each morning after hiking over 18 miles daily, wearing a 30-pound back. Simply amazing recovery product. And so he was taking the capsules before and during his hike. And that's John. Dave says, this supplement has completely transformed my workout routine. My endurance has improved. I have no burning in my calf muscles on tough climbs when biking now. Morgan says, O2 Boost has been a game changer in my strength and cardio training. I can lift heavier, run longer and faster when it takes 30 minutes. When I take it 30 minutes prior to working out. My Spartan race times have significantly improved, and that's Morgan. A couple from some an elderly person. I'm a fan of O2 Boost. I'm a 71-year-old female. I've been taking it for 2 years. My energy level is off the chart. I haven't been sick since I've been taking it, not even with COVID, and I felt like I have to give a testimony to the benefits of this amazing product. I was highly, and that was from Laura. Kathy from Florida. I was highly anemic before I had surgery. I took the product before and after the surgery, and it proved to be what I needed for the energy boost with no side effects. So we have, I'll read one more from Dave in Michigan. Actually, I have to admit I was skeptical. I took a capsule in the morning and I didn't really feel different. People ask me all the time, well, what do you feel when you take this? And because it's not a drug, you're not going to feel euphoric, or it's not addictive. You're not going to feel drowsy.
Doesn't have any type of caffeine that people.
No, it's oxygen's natural. And someone described it once as having just woke up from a good nap. And I thought, that's actually a really good way of thinking about it. People say I have a little bit of clarity of mind, but it's not like a switch. It takes about 20 minutes after you take it. But Dave goes on to say, I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I can honestly say I felt pretty normal. I went about my day because he was, probably in pretty good shape. That weekend, however, prior to my mountain climb, I thought I'd try it again. What a difference. As I got to the top of this one particular hill, I realized, this is a hill he goes to every weekend, right? That I didn't have any burning in my calf muscles, which I get naturally at this point. I ended up finishing my ride with one of my fastest times ever, no lactic acid buildup and no cramping. So lactic acid is a really interesting phenomenon that happens in your muscles. And we've all experienced it, the soreness of the muscles the next day. When your muscles have a lack of oxygen, hypoxia, as you're working out, whether it be running or lifting weights, you start to get a lactic acid buildup, which causes the pain, especially the next day, the aching. If you can have greater oxygen during the workouts, it's reducing the lactic acid buildup during that workout. And then the next day in recovery, if you're taking the product, it's reducing the lactic acid quicker so that they can perform longer. But we have, I'll just read one more, and this is for people that go to altitude. It's been on Mount Kilimanjaro. We've had in Mount Whitney, you've heard that. And you talked about the pulse oximeter. One thing that's important is with COVID, everybody knows what the pulse oximeter is now. And typically you should be above 95, preferably around 98%. If you get down in the 80s or 70s, that's a problem. When people climb mountains, they typically get down into the 70s or 60s even, because they're at elevation. At sea level, we're at 21% oxygen O2. Even at Denver, you're all the way down to about 16 or 17%, and that's just 5, 6, 7,000 feet. You can imagine going up to 10, 20,000 feet.
Yeah.
But what people find when their oxygen levels are are lower, after you take this product, in about 20 minutes, your oxygen levels will actually go up, and your pulse oximeter will
Yes.
prove it for you.
Yes.
And so these climbers are finding that, and that's what you're seeing here. This one said that, this is Rebecca. I'm a little awe of this product. Well, in the mountains, we checked our O2 levels with a pulse ox, and then rechecked after taking the product. It was always good for a bump of 3 to 4 points, from 92 to 96 or from 93 to 98. And once it went from 87 to 96, which was really fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at my higher energy levels, and I'm pretty pedal to the metal all day, and it just seems to give me an extra edge.
Yes. Yes. Those are very amazing results, that this product does. I also know that you're with this. How many of these products do you have on the line?
Well, we have, for the capsules, we have 2 different forms of the capsules. We have the Oxygen for Sport, and they're just like your typical capsule.
Yeah.
Right. The Oxygen for Sport is certified by Informed Sport.
Yeah.
So that's why we changed the label on this one.
Yes.
We also have, this is our original formulation, which is just O2 Boost Oxygen.
Yes.
Eventually, we'll get these tested for Informed Sport, but the current batch we're on has it. But it's exactly the same product.
The same.
So there's really no difference. And as I said, we've had tens of thousands of doses of these have been taken. So the capsules are the primary product that we have.
Yeah.
We also have some 2-packs and 6-packs that we sell online as well.
Yes.
And as you could see, and you saw earlier, O2Boost66.com will take you to all of these products.
Yeah.
And then it'll also link you to some of our skincare products, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Yes.
But some people ask, why do you use the website O2Boost66?
Yeah.
66 came about because that's the percent of oxygen by weight
Yeah.
that's in the powder.
Yeah.
So when you test it for the oxygen, 66% of it is diatomic oxygen by weight.
Yeah.
So that's why that's why the basic ingredient is called, the technology is OX66,
Yeah.
which is a trademark name,
Yeah.
and has been patented numerous times
Yeah.
by the U.S. Patent Office.
Yes. Yes. So what I'm excited about is that we have a wonderful product here. Athletes can use it.
Yes.
People that want to, occasionally go to the gym, they can use it before they go to the gym or after. Those with illnesses and stuff, they can be. So this is really, an entire spectrum that can be used by everybody.
Yeah. I take a capsule every morning. I've been doing that for 4 years.
Yeah.
And if in the afternoon, if I feel a little bit drowsy or sleepy, or if sometimes we're driving, you get sleepy.
Yeah.
You take one and it wakes you up.
Yeah.
And there's no caffeine involved, but it just gives your body that little extra uplift, if you will. So people do take it daily. Some people will take it right before their workout.
Yeah.
Or after. People that are doing real strenuous activities. Let's say you're running a marathon, or you're doing a triathlon,
Yeah.
or you're climbing a mountain, or whatever it is that you're doing. If you're elderly and you're working in your garden all day,
Right.
that can be strenuous, and especially in the heat of the day. Taking 1 or 2 capsules really makes a difference.
When I came to your office years back, you shared something very profound as regards to the air that we are living in right now.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a very toxic, environment of what we put in. So we don't have adequate oxygen into our bodies and stuff like that. Can you share that so the viewers kind of understand how the environment has shifted and changed to even sustain, life?
Yeah. So I think people can relate to that. We know that smoking's not good for your body, for
Right.
example, because
Right.
you're breathing particulates. As an example, in the Middle East, and in the Middle East especially, there's a lot of asthma, emphysema problems because there's a lot of dust in the air.
Yes.
And so that's air pollution, but it's the natural dust because
Right.
of the dry environment.
Right.
In some of the developing countries, such as India or Bangkok, a lot of pollution in the air, diesel smoke and all that, large incidents of people with lung issues.
Yes.
And so those are, proof and examples that the air we breathe is decreasing your lung capacity. Our body is God made our bodies amazing.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, we breathe 21% oxygen.
Yeah.
We have this thing called a hyperbaric chamber. What people have found, if they get in a hyperbaric chamber under pressure, it pushes more oxygen in your body.
Yeah.
And actually helps some of the ailments of your body. This sort of does the same thing because it's supplementing the oxygen in your body. But when we breathe in oxygen at sea level, 21%, your lungs process that, and it goes to the alveoli, and we've learned all that through COVID, and everybody's become an expert now.
Yeah.
But by the time it gets to your organs and your extremities, that oxygen is perhaps 3 to 9% PO2 by pressure.
Yeah.
So it's very inefficient.
Yeah,
But
it's not
that's
enough.
what your body's designed for. That's what your body needs.
Yeah.
But when you have COVID or you're at a high altitude, the levels of oxygen getting to those organs and extremities is actually less than
Yeah.
that. So it's not optimum anymore for the body.
Yeah.
When this product gets to the point of hypoxic need of the tissue,
Yeah.
and that clathrate opens up, or that lattice structure opens up and allows the 100% O2 to escape, instead of the 3 to 9%, you're getting a tenfold increase of oxygen at the molecular level,
Yeah.
which is just an incredible
Yeah.
benefit
Yeah.
for the need that's happening. When people get frostbite, what's happening with frostbite is your extremities are freezing, right?
Yeah.
Which means there's no oxygen getting to the tissues.
Yeah.
Because the blood can't flow with the oxygen. And it starts to turn color and turn dark because there's no oxygen.
Yeah.
Well, that's what is happening to all the cells in your body. It's just not as obvious.
Yes.
But those cells are dying
Yeah.
because of lack of oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah. What I love about, as you share this, what I love that gives me great interest in what we're talking about is, as an impact leader, with such not only what the product is, the mission, that comes with it, to see people healthy, to see people's lives better, transformed and changed. I believe it makes a difference. And you share with me about the structure on how people can access this, this product.
Okay.
Can you share about that?
Absolutely. And just to go back a little bit, we're small enough that we still take phone calls from our customers.
Yeah.
And they'll tell us their stories and ask their questions. And it's really amazing to make a difference in a person's life. And
That's so true.
all it does is take one phone call every now and then, and it just gives us a boost of energy to keep fighting for.
Yeah.
But right now we sell the capsules online at the website o2boost66.com.
Yeah.
which goes through Shopify.
Yeah.
And so people can purchase it there. And as we talked about earlier, because I'm on the show today, we're going to offer all your viewers
Yes.
a discount.
Yes.
So if someone wants to order through the website or through the phone number, that toll-free number, and if you call the number, people will give you more information
Yes.
about the product
Yes.
also. Or you can chat with us also,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we'll answer the questions. But if people put King 10,
King 10.
KING,
Yes.
the number 10,
Yes.
they'll give them a 10% discount
Yes.
on the product, and they'll be able to do that, just by listening today.
Yes.
So that's the primary way that we're selling it right now. We've been in Walmart and some other places on their online stores, so mostly it's all online right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We also have the sprays that we sell.
Yes.
We haven't talked about that yet. But back to the philanthropic side of this, as I mentioned, the only reason I'm involved is because I believe I've dedicated the last 4 years of my life to this.
Yes.
So what we've also done is we've set up a philanthropic 501c3 as well.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but it was really important for us to do that because
Yes.
we want this to be something that people can feel is making a difference in the world.
Yes.
For oxygen products. It's not just related to this one, but for any oxygen, because oxygen is so important.
It's so important.
It's just the basic building block of life.
Yes.
More so, as I mentioned, for water and nutrition. The technology is, I'll go back to the technology in a moment, but the sprays and the topicals are a whole different area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when this product is put on the skin,
Yes.
The matrix will open up, and it will, the oxygen will penetrate the dermis. And we've proven this scientifically.
Yeah.
And it is an amazing for anti-aging, for wounds,
Yes.
for general skin health.
And that's the spray.
That's the spray.
Yes.
And people say, well, why does that work? Well, it's actually a little bit easier to understand, excuse me, than the oral, because a lot of cosmetics today,
Yeah.
a lot of skin products, anti-aging products, a lot
Right.
of them advertise it brings more oxygen to the skin, because
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah.
So as that oxygen penetrates, it's healing
The body.
the body quicker. In fact, when you cut yourself or burn yourself, you see the redness around the area. The reason there's that redness is the body's rushing blood
Yeah.
to the site of injury
Yeah.
to heal it, because that blood is carrying oxygen,
Yes.
right? But we know that level of oxygen is only about 3 to 9%.
So the more oxygen.
The better. So if you burn yourself, and we've proven this, that if you spray this on there or immerse it in some water with this in it, the burning stops almost instantly. Well, and if you burn yourself, what's the first thing you do sometimes? When people burn themselves on the stove, they stick their hand under cold water.
Right. Yes.
Well, the reason cold water actually does help a little bit is because it constricts your
Blood vessels.
your blood vessels.
Yes.
And so it stops that rush of blood to the area, which causing the burning sensation.
Okay.
But it's actually delaying the healing process because there's less blood getting to the area.
Yeah.
If you spray the oxygen on it, it's getting maximum. It's getting 100% oxygen,
Yeah.
not the 21% in the air or the 9% from your body. It's getting 100%. And so the burn feeling goes away. And a lot of times the next day, unless you have a 3rd or 4th degree burn that's really, damages the skin,
Yeah.
you may not have a blister or even a rash. Like people that get sunburns. This is an amazing sunburn
Yes.
product,
Yes.
if you will. And so cuts, we've done studies that show that it's healing wounds 3 and 4 times faster than normal. People that do microabrasions and they go to the doctors for anti-aging and all that, it's healing it within hours
Yes.
instead of days.
Yeah.
So some people hide out in their house after they have that done. This is healing it much faster.
quicker.
And we've got some dermatologists and some other folks that do those procedures that are using this product as
Yes,
well in a
yes.
professional way.
Yes. Well, it's interesting that you share about that, because there's a research that came out probably last year or two, and in the study they were looking at, especially in the beauty industry, some of the most lethal, toxic chemicals that are being used on people's skin cancer levels going up. That to the point that when they finished the study and published it, most of the companies that have been pushing all this synthetic stuff started to say, we are going to change, because it was so damaging that there are more people getting sicker because of all of these other things that are not good for the body, And so for you to be able to have an amazing product like this, it's an amazing, product that can help people, recover, heal, without going through spending tens of thousands of dollars at the doctors, because they thought they're putting some amazing product in their air, the, body cuts and stuff, and yet the body was, this is a gift that, God has placed you with. That's why I love the way you're able to bring our viewers to the understanding that this is very key, and it's really a kingdom product that everybody needs to have it.
It really is a prophylactics. I mean, it averts disease if you're keeping your skin healthy or your body healthy. It doesn't have any ingredients in it. There's only 2 ingredients. I mean, in the spray, there's water, and there's OX66.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else, and that OX66 is bringing oxygen to your skin.
Yes.
Which is what the skin needs. Similarly with the capsules, there's only 2 ingredients. There's OX66 and then an excipient that allows us to encapsulate it, which is vegan, neutral. It has no allergens in it.
Yeah.
All completely natural ingredient that's mixed with the OX66. So there's no issues with what you just described for any of our products.
Yes.
The topical products, we have a companion website, which is O2 Skincare 66. They both link to each other. So if you go to O2 Boost 66, you will find that. You can go to the O2 Skincare 66. But you can also see a skin cream. And we have a rose spray that is really wonderful. We have one of our associates. She's a singer and a model, and a couple years ago she was going to do a photo shoot in Paris, I think it was, and she had an acne outbreak because she's still pretty young, in her early 20s. Yeah. And so she used our skin products, our spray, and it cleared up her acne, and she had a perfect photo shoot. So now she's a believer, and actually the combination of both taking it orally and topically is probably the optimum for your health, because your body's healthy from the inside out, but also you're providing an extra boost from the outside in.
Amazing. Well, let me say that you have an opportunity today, to have a special. If you go through King 10, that's a discount code that you can use when you make a phone call for this broadcast that you've seen, and we'll extend more information where you can get it. Go to o2boost66.com right now and order this for yourself, or you have friends, that they've had skin problems and healthy problems and everything. I know so many people, some of my friends that I can recommend this, and so I'm very delighted that we can have you here to share with us this amazing, discovery, and that, God has placed in your heart. I know as we kind of continue with this, you had shared something very key that's attached to this vision, the mission behind it, the Philanthropic idea, vision about this. I'd like to hear about that.
Yeah, so the vision is that we can scale production and we can get the price point down a little bit. Right now it's a premium product. Yeah. And so the vision, though, is to bring it to the developing countries of the world and Africa and other places, so that people who do not have good health care, or perhaps don't have good nutrition, and otherwise have illnesses that they could really benefit from. One of the greatest visions that we've always had is that the lack of blood products in the world for transfusions is incredible. I mean, especially in the developing countries, and if you look in the rural areas, women in childbirth or people that have an accident, they simply die because of lack of oxygen. Lack of oxygen. Because when you lose blood, you're losing the element that carries the oxygen to your body. And so you're actually dying of lack of oxygen when you lose blood. Yeah. And so the challenge is from the lack of blood supply around the world to have intravenous blood, you have to worry about cold chain logistics, because you have to keep the blood products cold, which is impossible in many parts of the world. You have to worry about the quality of the blood, diseases that you may be carried in the blood. You have to worry about the blood type. even, because it has to be A, B, negative, all those sorts of things.
Right.
And then finally, there's cultural challenges. Some people do not want transfusions because they don't believe that they should be doing that. We believe, and we've proven this in research, that we can provide this product intravenously. And we've done it, and I'll talk a little bit more about the science behind what we've actually found that's happening. But we can, if down the road we can provide this intravenously. Of course, we have to get FDA approval, and there's a lot of research that has to do with that. And that's one of the reasons that this Oxygen for Life Foundation was set up. Oxygen First Foundation, it takes millions of dollars to do that sort of research, to show how it's proved. But people can donate to a 501c3
they can
for all oxygen research, which would include the advancement of this product. It's unassociated with our companies, as a 501c3 needs to do, but it will advance the science. And in this case, if we're able to develop an intravenous way to provide oxygen to your body that doesn't need cold chain logistics, that doesn't rely on blood type, that doesn't have to worry about diseases, and it can be carried anywhere in a rural area at low cost, you're going to be saving tens of thousands, if not millions of lives over time. And I think God would want us to do that if we could.
He does.
So that is the ultimate vision. And to make this available, so the next COVID event, whatever that might be, that causes people to have lack of oxygen, you have this in a quantity such that you don't need to worry about putting people on an intubator or and supplemental oxygen. Not to say that those aren't still good. It's just that this would obviate some people needing that, and would maybe complement what's already being done. And the millions of people that died during COVID, could we have saved one? I know for a fact we've saved, through anecdotal stories and personal stories of people using this product, that people have said that they wouldn't be alive today if they didn't have that.
Amazing. I'm very moved because when you shared about even the mission with the company, and I'm reminded that, we have a vision through this network where different organizations around the Metroplex and around the country, they've been partnering with us and distributing medical supplies and hospital beds. We're shipping them in different countries around where there's need. It was a vision of mine years ago. I was in a small village in rural area back in Uganda, and we used to drive to go to the next clinic that he only had probably like 50 medicines on the counter. That's all he has on a small rural town that's got almost 20,000 people. So malaria and all the other stuff. But you have to drive there on those dusty roads to get there, or somebody's going to die, or to go to the next major regional hospital where people are lying down. They bring them and lay them down, don't have access to oxygen. So some of them die in the hallway because those who went in this, and that's not a government subsidiary. It's not for free. Everybody pays out of pocket. They just dropped you there thinking that the hospital is going to help you, and nothing happens. Because the first problem that they're going to first solve is, okay, after diagnosis, the oxygen is low. I saw that. And I said, God, one day I would love to see if we can build clinics 50 miles in every location. So mothers who are about to give birth don't die on the way before they get there because of lack, of that. Well, God answered that prayer a few years back to have partners that are giving us medical supplies, in that to solve this. So we've been doing that. So when I heard your vision about this, especially the mission behind it, knowing millions of these products can solve Africa's #1 problem, to solve preventable diseases, preventable issues, and give people life and a future. I think that can be amazing, and I think you and I have shared about it, how would love to extend that vision to Uganda.
No, and absolutely. Uganda is a perfect example, and one of the reasons we created Oxygen First Foundation, our 501c3, is that we could have large donors could donate to that 501c3, which would then be able to purchase quantities to put it in every first aid kit, in every aid package that goes to people that are recovering from a disaster, or people that are in the rural areas that don't have the clinics, and so that you have this product available, from a philanthropic perspective, so it's free, and they don't have to pay for it. And that's the whole reason, one of the main reasons for Oxygen First Foundation. Now we have that avenue to do that, and then that allows us to now have penetration globally, as part of the vision to bring this to the people of the world.
No, it's amazing that this is a transformational game changer in that. General Brooks, we've shared a whole lot of information to the viewers right now. We want to give them an opportunity from you on how they can access this product, what are the price numbers and everything, and I think that'll help as we continue here.
Okay. So the price point on the capsule is $125 for the bottle. And there's 30 capsules in there, and so that's less than a cup of Starbucks per day. It's relatively, some people would think that's expensive, but if it's helping you, I mean, people, pay, $200 or $300 for a paddle today, because there are golfing equipment, or going hiking, or seeing the doctor's office. The copay alone is expensive oftentimes. And so with the discount code King10, they'll be able to save some on that. The sprays are, we have a sale on them right now, and so you can go on the website and get the price of the sprays, which is around $40 or so. And then the discount code will still apply for that. And so O2 Skin Care 66 for the topicals, and O2 Boost 66 for the capsules. And if you have any questions, the phone number is available, or the chat is available on that. But I highly recommend it. We're selling products every day. And getting feedback every day on this. And so, I've really dedicated my, in the last 4 years, I haven't taken a salary. I personally have invested in this company because I believe in it so much. I personally believe it. My family uses the products. My friends use the products.
I have used the product, and it's amazing. I just took 2 of them before we started the product, and
So you're ready to go out and run a marathon.
So I feel like we can go another 2 hours or so. It's amazing.
And so what I would say, though, give it a try. To your viewers, I think that it'll make a difference in your life.
Would love to jump back into the commercial again about the product right now, as you can be available to watch this commercial again, and jump onto the website right now as we speak and utilize this. It's life. All of us need oxygen. God gave it to us. And for me, like I shared before here with General Brooks, is that September 11, the pandemic was one of those signals that showed us that everybody was gasping for life, and oxygen was what was evaporating out of people's bodies, and people died and everything. And I got a hold of this around that time, and it really, really, really helped me a lot. So we would like to take this advantage for you to, get this product in your hand, in your home, to your friends, and your lives will never be the same again. It's what we need all over the world. Go ahead.
Tired of feeling drained, stressed, or stuck in a cycle of fatigue? It's time to unlock the ultimate secret to feeling stronger, pain-free, and energized like never before. Introducing O2 Boost, the incredible power of oxygen in a bottle. Specially formulated to enhance your body's natural oxygen levels, O2 Boost works down to the cellular level, fueling your body from the inside out. Whether you're a dedicated athlete, a fitness enthusiast, or simply looking to feel healthier, O2 Boost is your go-to for that natural energy surge. Feel the difference in every breath. O2 Boost increases oxygen in your body, helping you power through workouts, recover faster, and stay focused all day long. No stimulants, no crash, just pure oxygen-fueled vitality. Ready to experience the power of oxygen? Grab your bottle of O2 Boost today and feel stronger, healthier, and more energized with every breath. Visit O2Boost66.com now to order. It's time to fuel your cells, empower your body, and take your health to the next level. O2 Boost, empower your every breath.
Welcome back. We're just so excited again as we've been having this wonderful conversation with General Brooks and Bash for this wonderful product that you've pioneered to help transform people's lives. And as we started, we talked about your journey of leadership and how God has used you in all these spheres of influence to the point today that you're able to communicate with thousands, if not millions of viewers that need access to this type of product. And so we're thankful that you would take your time and be with us. Mm-hmm. We'd love to have you as many times to continue to champion the cause of transformation in the lives of people, because the world we live in has been getting sicker and sicker. And I might as well add in a minute here that one of RFK's agenda is to remove toxic stuff out of our bodies. Our food is contaminated and everything, and we're finding ourselves, we're becoming a sicker nation, and we're spending billions of dollars on a sick nation. For people to have access to something like this to help them live better lives, I believe is very important. Don't you believe?
It will be. The pharmaceuticals won't be happy about this product because it will obviate the need for many of the medicines.
Yes.
That are put out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to share, from a personal perspective.
Yes.
We talked about at the beginning being in service and now in service to God for our whole life. My faith journey has really grown exponentially over this last 4 years.
Yes.
As I've tried to bring the challenges associated with a startup and a new product and all that.
Right.
And I'd like to share with you about our family, because our family is a huge faith journey. My wife, Mary Beth, is responsible for my strong faith.
Yes.
And she's a nurse, and so she understands medicine.
Yes.
And she herself goes down on missions to El Salvador and Peru and gives of herself.
Right.
And our daughter is a missionary as well. She's been in Argentina, in Brazil, Uruguay.
Yeah.
And she's currently in Romania.
Yeah.
And she is actually in medical school as well, and she'll continue to serve the impoverished where she's not taking any kind of income.
Right.
And so this idea of being in service to God and for His kingdom is so strong in our family.
Yeah.
And so that just keeps me going every day.
Yes. That's one of the reasons why we call this an impact leader type of conversation, because you have so many people that would get into a broadcast and share about only the successes of everything. They forget about family and they forget about service, to others. Mm-hmm. We need it today like never before. And getting to know the mission, behind what all of this that we've talked about today, that it's about transforming people's lives.
Yes.
That's a place that's mighty, that's needed, and in every step of the way, our viewers understand that, as your soul prospers, your heart begins to heal. And I've been delighted to spend, this wonderful hour with you regarding this wonderful product. The women can find this beauty, for their bodies, and I hope men can use that too.
Oh, absolutely. Men, the industry right now, men's anti-aging is huge. It's growing exponentially.
Yes. You can find it again on O2Boost66.com. It's on your screen. The number is on your screen. Make phone calls. Remember, we can also utilize the discount if you call us, and it's King 10. Forget the other part that I said. King 10 is a discount code that you will use to have access to this, and we'll be blessed, because that helps support all the missions that we have to continue this type of broadcast and what we do. I am very thankful. Thank you so much to allow us. What's the last word you give us, General Brooks, to this?
Well, just to clarify, there is a discount code box on the website as well that you can put King 10.
Yes.
But I just say, praise the Lord,
Yes.
that people who need this product can get it.
Yes. I love it that you're extending a mission to the rest of the world. Not only just in the United States, the nonprofit mission to different parts of the world, and we'll continue to talk about that next time.
Well, hopefully next time we'll have achieved that, especially in Uganda.
Yes, would love that. Would love that. General Brooks, thank you so much for being with us. We're delighted. Saints, we thank you for allowing us to be in your home. Each week, we're delighted to bring impact leaders that have a very powerful word, message, product in every step of the way that transforms people's lives, because we need it in the world we live in today. So I'm delighted that you can have us and continue to watch this wonderful network for the kingdom of God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Mike. My pleasure.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Welcome to the World Trumpet TV, a world media ministry called to blow the trumpet, to call the unsaved, unreached millions back to God. In a world so broken, so hurting, and so lost, World Trumpet TV is taking the gospel of the kingdom to the nations, redigging the wells of revival and awakenings in North America, South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia, sounding the trumpet for the children of God to arise for a mighty global move of God. World Trumpet TV is at the center of bringing you God events as they happen worldwide, global evangelization, and international humanitarian social transformation missions in suffering nations. Together with our friends and partners, we believe this new decade will experience the greatest salvation the world has ever seen. Through our 24/7 inspiration programming via cable networks, satellite, smart TV, smart apps, social media, iPads and iPhones, etc., reaching the entire planet. Join the Trumpet TV family in bringing the lost, hurting millions back to God.